So it looks like Tony Hawk is definitely coming out. We have a tease here and some more hints from Tony Hawk himself on X. Pretty exciting stuff. Gears of War E-Day. This game could be coming out sooner rather than later, as there was a discovery here that it has been in development for a while, which is very exciting. We already heard rumors that it may be coming out this year, but obviously nothing has been confirmed yet. We have exciting news if potentially for a Transformers game or a new IP, a new Hasbro IP that is going to be in development from Saber Interactive. Assassin's Creed Shadows is in a controversy once again. It's to me, it's just a kind of a crazy, stupid thing, but we'll talk about it because of course there's going to be all this stuff leading up to the release of the game. Xbox is committing to making quality games. Satya Nadella touches on this. Doom has gone in the rating, and you'll be pretty happy to hear which rating it did get, and then a couple of more things to touch on. But before we do continue, if you do enjoy daily gaming news and content, make sure to hit the subscribe, share the video, like the video, all of that stuff. Many of you who or watch on a daily basis aren't subscribed, so I would appreciate it if you did hit the subscribe button. But let's start off here to continue off of a story that we did talk about yesterday, and that was the rumor that Tony Hawk is coming back. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, the video game, is coming back potentially with another remake of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, which would be phenomenal in my opinion. I loved the first two. I loved the remake of the first two. They did a very good job. I was worried that they would just rush it and it wouldn't be that great just to kind of have a cash grab, especially if you look at how Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 turned out. But they absolutely knocked it out of the park with the first two. And I think they will do the same here with the number 3 and number 4. I still kind of hope that they will make another numbered entry into this series, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 6 or something, because Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 is no way for it to be the last entry. They have to have something after that to make good. And maybe this is just another test as to whether they want to continue to invest in this franchise. But we talked about the rumor yesterday. This is a bit of an update because the rumor was saying that they may shadow drop these new Tony Hawk games, these remasters or remakes, whatever you want to call them, at the Xbox showcase in June or around that time. However, there is a tease here that showed up, and it says March 4th, and obviously it has the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater logo on it. This is from Charlie Intel saying, looks like a teaser for something related to Tony Hawk's Pro Skater has been found in Black Ops 6 Grind multiplayer map. Announcement on March 4th. So does that mean that's just the announcement and then we'll get the release date for June? Or is that the shadow drop date? You never know, right? But exciting. I'm looking forward to this if this really means anything at all, because this is very close. That's like 2 weeks away where we will hear more about what is next in Tony Hawk. And what I think really does confirm this more so than anything is you had these replies here. You had Tony Hawk with the eyes, then you had Xbox with the eyes responding to Tony Hawk. So pretty interesting stuff there. And of course, the article from the other day where the Pro Skater had said that there was these games coming. And I mean, I think this all but confirms it officially that these are in the works. So very, very exciting things there when it comes to bringing back these Tony Hawk games. And again, this is more jumping back into the back catalog of Activision, bringing these games out. Probably, you would assume, day one on Xbox Game Pass as well. And I hope this is just the beginning. I hope that we see more of this stuff, of older titles getting these remakes from the Activision catalog that haven't been out in a long time. And then I hope they continue development of these games going forward if they do well. I'm sure they will do decently well. And maybe we will finally get a brand new game into the series, a brand new Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 6. That would be my, I would say, ultimate goal from all of this stuff, because I'm definitely going to be playing this day one. I love these games, and we'll see how well it does commercially. If they do well, then who knows? Who knows what other games that they will look at bringing out. Now, one of my most anticipated games for, I say ever, I mean, just in general in video games, because I'm a huge Gears fan, is Gears of War E-Day. When they showed off that first trailer where they were going back, it was like a prequel. You had Dom in there. It gave you the original Gears of War trailer vibes. It was one of the best moments for me. And we are hearing now that there's rumors going around that this actually could be coming out this year. Like maybe they announced it at the June showcase, or it could be coming out relatively soon, maybe early 2026 or something. And we have this here. This is from LinkedIn. And from the person who works at the Coalition. This is the senior level designer at the Coalition, their LinkedIn profile. And they say here that the game has been in active development for 5 years and 2 months. So since 2020, that would make you believe that, yes, this game is close to being out. I mean, this game is probably very close to actually being ready. And I realized I didn't have it up on the screen here, but as you guys can see here, active development, senior level designer, 5 years and 2 months. This would indicate, in my opinion here, that this game will be out in the next year or so at the very latest. Like, I don't think there's that much more that they have to do. The Coalition is very good with their development. Their games are always very high quality. If you look at the gears that they have put out from a technical perspective, especially if you go back and look at something like Hivebusters, which is absolutely phenomenal graphically. Still one of the best looking games I would say that we've seen since this, even throughout this entire generation. I mean, Hivebusters is very, very beautiful looking, and I believe that was the last generation release, but it's very, very good. So I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if this game is just in the polishing stages. They're getting ready for the announcement, then they're moving to the marketing campaign, and we will be playing Gears of War E-Day sooner than we think. All right, so yesterday we talked about the content. Now, the content is going to be king going forward, and it's not just about having exclusive games locked to a box. It's about who can produce the most amount of quality games that people love playing, which would entice them to buy into your ecosystem. I saw a lot of comments on my video yesterday about it doesn't matter if they have good content. They're putting it on PlayStation, so it's irrelevant. But the reality is that's exactly what the strategy is. It doesn't matter where people are playing these games. If they're playing these Xbox games on PlayStation, they're still paying into the Xbox ecosystem, which allows Xbox to expand their business and expand their content and give gamers everywhere more games and help grow Xbox Game Pass. That is the clear-cut strategy here of Xbox. If you've been following at all, that is what they are looking for, is to just get people giving them money in one way or another, no matter where they play. And the only way they can do that is by producing good games that people talk about. I mean, Avowed just came out. Overall, positive reviews, seeing still at like an 80 on Metacritic. It is a fun game from everything that I have played. There are obviously people that don't like it, and everybody's allowed to have their opinions. And then you have Indiana Jones back in December, which was phenomenal. People would argue maybe that's one of the best games Xbox has put out in a long time. So they are on that road of delivering high quality games on a consistent basis. And Satya Nadella touched on this and what he believes here he wants the Xbox business to be going forward, and that is delivering quality games as Xbox does expand. So we have this article here. Microsoft CEO commits to producing great quality games as Xbox expands. This was a new episode of the Warkish podcast. I'm not sure if I said that correctly, but he says here, noting that the team has to produce great quality games to be successful in a field. Specifically, here's exactly what he says. Gaming has got a long history at the company, and we want to be in gaming for gaming's sake. I hate to be in business where there means to some other end. They have to be the ends unto themselves. For example, cloud gaming is a natural thing for us to invest in because that'll just expand the ability for people to play games everywhere. Same thing with the AI in gaming. We definitely think that it can be helpful. As the world's largest publisher, this will be helpful, but at the same time, we've got to produce great quality games. You can't be a gaming publisher without first and foremost being focused on that. And the statement is 100% true, and you can argue whether he's just saying this or not, because Satya Nadella, at the end of the day, all he cares about is the bottom line. How can they make the most amount of money possible? If it was up to him, I would guess if they could put out the cheapest games and they made the most amount of money, they would potentially go in that direction. However, the sentiment here is absolutely correct. Xbox is the biggest publisher. They can put out tons of content all the time, but if the content isn't good, it's going to fall off, and people are going to just look at every time they release a game with skepticism. But I think right now, you look at Indiana Jones, you look at Avowed, you look at South of Midnight coming up, Gears of War E-Day, like we just talked about, I think is going to be phenomenal. Fable coming out at the end of this year. I think 2025 could be the defining year where they have consistently high quality games that people are enjoying playing, which puts them on the map for anytime there is a game that's about to come out from Xbox. The excitement and hype is through the roof. I know for some people like myself, it's already there. I enjoy tons of content that Xbox does put out, so I'm always excited when they are announcing new games or when a new game is about to release. But there are a lot of critics and a lot of skeptics out there who still don't believe in Xbox, and one way to get rid of those skeptics is to release high quality games on a consistent basis, and then the criticisms will slowly die down, at least for the people that are arguing against Xbox in good faith, of course. But Satya Nadella, absolutely correct here in what they need to do, just producing high quality games on a consistent basis. All right, let's jump over here. Let's talk about something that could be very exciting. This has to do with a new AAA game based off of a tentpole Hasbro IP led by the Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 team working with Saber Interactive. Now, we don't know what this could be, but the first thing that will come to my mind, and I think a lot of people's mind when they see this, they see the style of game that Space Marine was, third-person action, everything, would be a Transformers game. This is exciting because of the quality of how good Space Marine 2 was. It was one of the best games last year. They're getting now a licensed to a Hasbro IP. You would have to guess it's Transformers, and if they were to able to take that IP, I think they could do a lot of amazing things with it. So excited to see exactly what this is, and who knows when this will be announced. I'm guessing sometime in the summer or maybe next year if it's nowhere near that at all. All right, the next thing we got to talk about here is Assassin's Creed Shadows. This one is such a ridiculous controversy in my opinion, and maybe it's because I just don't understand it. But the reality is Assassin's Creed Shadow is a video game. Video games allow you to have player choice and to do many things in video games, break things, destroy things. There's been other examples in Assassin's Creed with other cultures and religions and things that they have done stuff that you didn't hear any of this outrage about. But now all of a sudden, because for some reason, this one particularly is taking place in Japan, it has set off a lot of people. And it looks like it's going even further than I would have ever thought. We have this report here. Assassin's Creed Shadows faces action from the Japanese officials for shrine destruction. They say here, Assassin's Creed Shadows will face appropriate action from Japanese officials due to recent shrine destruction gameplay footage. This is simply because somebody in a video game destroyed shrines in the game. That was the choice of the player. This isn't something that the game is encouraging or telling you to do. Player goes in, they destroy the shrine because they're trying to make it more realistic, where if you're controlling the character and you're role playing as that character and you choose to do this, you can do it, which I think is what video games are all about. So it's just kind of mind-boggling that this is even occurring. But they say here, the shrine representative was also asked if Ubisoft had contacted them prior to using the location in Assassin's Creed Shadows, and the representative replied no. If there had been, we would have refused. The representative did not reveal what appropriate action they would take against the game. So this could honestly all just be PR. Could be someone just making noise here because they have a vendetta against the game or whatever. But it's so ridiculous. The whole discussion around Assassin's Creed Shadows is becoming more and more ridiculous by the day. Did Ubisoft screw up initially with some of the stuff that they did put out here for the game? Yes, they should have done more research. And they should have made sure when they were releasing promotional items and things like that, that it was done correctly. They realized that, they went back and they've made changes, and they've delayed this game twice. But now we're at a point where people are complaining about actually being able to just play the video game. Mind blowing. We'll see what happens on release. Right now, from what we understand with this game, it is doing very well with pre-orders. It's almost at Assassin's Creed Odyssey numbers, which would be a massive success. I don't think any of this will take away from the sales of it, but I just find this entire issue here and this entire controversy right now still pretty ridiculous, and we'll see what effects it does have on the official release. All right, let's talk Doom, the Dark Ages. Just a quick update here for this one. If you're a fan of mature rated games, you're going to be very happy about this one. Violence, score, all that type of stuff. Of course, Doom would get this rating. This isn't a surprise, but it is official here that it has been rated M18 for violence and gore by Singapore's Infocom Media Development Authority. And this is another game. With all the games Xbox is putting out this year, this is another one that is coming out relatively soon, May 15th. So that's very exciting for PS5, Series XS, and PC. And it has an M18 rating. Not surprising, but there it is. There is the official rating that has been confirmed. And a couple more things here before we end off today's show. Cyberpunk 2077, a game that had a terrible launch, but for a lot of people, they redeemed themselves and it became one of the best RPGs that they've played. They are looking to make a sequel, of course, because it was extremely successful. They recovered very well from the launch itself. And I'm actually excited to see what they're going to be able to do with this sequel and improving on the realism of this game. I mean, it's already pretty fantastic in terms of some of the stuff that you do see about the realism of it. However, there's a lot that can be done going forward, especially when you start thinking about the technologies getting better. You think about AI potentially being used for NPCs and for worlds and stuff. I think there's a lot of stuff here that will make the next game even more revolutionary. And here is what they're saying. They're saying the sequel's aiming for the most realistic crowds in any game. They recently posted a series of job openings for the upcoming RPG. And they say among the daily responsibilities, successful applicants will expect to work in close collaboration with the systems design team to create the most realistic and reactive crowd systems in any game to date. They say it's unclear if it's referring to something like Red Dead Redemption 2's conversation system wherein every NPC could be spoken to, or if the developer is simply looking for the most realistic general reactions to the player's actions. Either or, that'd be cool. I think it'd be great to have both. That would be ideal. And I think by the time this game does come out, we will be at a point in development where that potentially is possible. Again, especially with the whole AI discussion and how that's going to be used. A lot of people look at it in a negative light, and I think there could be some negative things, or there will be some negative things that do come out of it. Any new technology that breaks into an industry, there is always bad things that happen. People lose their jobs. But you also have to look at it from a positive perspective, in the sense that I think there will be a lot of cool things that AI does add to video games. A lot of busy work and development and stuff that just impossible for humans to do at a fast, rapid pace, where they can make worlds living and NPCs all have different dialogue and look and move different. I think AI comes in there and will be able to make these crowds and these worlds more living and immersive. So that's where I'm excited about these technologies coming in to the future of gaming. Finally, we'll talk about this because this comes just right after the whole Marvel Rivals weird story where they laid off the team in Seattle after we know that this game has been extremely successful, and you would not have expected that. Just within the 3 months of release of Marvel Rivals and now laying off a team, they've actually hit 40 million players. So again, still makes no sense about these layoffs, but here it is. This comes via Daniel Ahmad, and NetEase releases fourth quarter and fiscal year 2024 results. So they did the layoffs, then they released the fiscal year results. And they say that Marvel Rivals reached 10 million players within the first 72 hours, 20 million within the first 2 weeks, and has amassed 40 million within 3 months. This game is wildly, wildly successful. And this is why the whole story about the layoffs doesn't make any sense, other than when you look at what NetEase is trying to do, I think, from the global perspective, is to reduce their investment in the US. It's kind of what it seems like it is. They've already said that they were trying to reduce their global investments outside of where they are. So that's just another step in that direction. But on the video there, guys, if you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.